Hello, welcome back. In this Blender tutorial, we will be showing how to apply special maps to your materials, which may come with your imported models like dirt, or edge wear, or ambient occlusion and more. We will be using a model of a knob from the 50 knobs and dials collection available for purchase and download from our site. The link to this download is in the description below. This collection comes in a variety of file formats, including Blender. But for this tutorial, we will be showing you from the start how to import a mesh and apply these special maps to your materials, and then how to adjust them within the materials editor to fine-tune things like the color or amount of dirt or edge wear. Let's get started. We'll start with a new project. First, let's delete the default cube from the scene. I'm going to import an FBX of one of the knobs. File menu, Import, and choose FBX. Navigate to the knobs folder, and let's pick knob 15 for this example. Select our FBX and hit the import button. When this comes in, assuming your units are set to meters, it will be quite small in the viewport because it's really only about an inch or so wide. You can either zoom in with your mouse or select the mesh in the outliner and press the period on your number pad to view selected. If you don't have a number pad, press the tilde key, which brings up a pie menu, and select view selected, and that will center the mesh in your viewport like so. If you enjoy this video, please tap the like button and subscribe to our channel to get notified when new videos are posted. Alright, we have a knob. Before we jump into materials, I want to set up a bit of lighting so I know what I will be getting when doing any final renders. First, let's change the render engine to cycles. Click Render Properties in the Properties editor, and select Cycles from the Render Engine drop-down. Then let's change the viewport shading to rendered in the upper right corner like this. Next, click on the world icon in the Properties editor, and let's change the color of the background to something a little lighter. Something like this should be fine. And finally, let's put this knob on a flat surface. Press Shift A. Select Mesh, and then Plane. This will bring in a large plane, and I'll leave it the size it is. I just want some balanced lighting. With the plane selected, click on the materials icon in the editor, and let's add a new material to the plane, and let's just leave it on default settings. Alright, we have our scene ready to start applying materials. Select the knob, and across the top of your screen select Shading to go into the shader editor. Once here, recenter your knob in the viewport above if it's not already. And then let's make sure we are in rendered view mode over here. Alright. With the knob selected, if nothing appears in the lower shader editor, press the Home key on your keyboard and that should center the nodes for you. When this FBX was imported, it defaulted to a couple settings. Let's adjust these now. First, we won't be needing a normal map, so I can select the normal map node and delete it. Next, let's change this to black color. I want this to be a plastic knob or dial, so I'll bring the metallic down to 0. And then maybe make it a little more shiny by bringing down the roughness just a touch. Okay. That looks like a brand new shiny plastic knob or dial. Let's go to the knob 15 folder and see what kind of texture maps we're dealing with. Okay. We have an AO or ambient occlusion map, a dirt mask, an edge mask, and a paint mask. These may be called different things depending on who named them when they were created. These particular maps in this collection were created in Substance Painter and then exported to PNGs. The reason these are all called masks is that we won't just be using these as color or overlays, but we will be using them as masks. This will allow us to pump any color, or any other texture for that matter, through these masks onto the material. Let's check it out. Okay, back in Blender. Let's bring one of these texture maps in. Inside the shader editor, Shift A, and let's go to Texture. And then Image Texture. Alright, click Open and navigate to our knob 15 folder, and I'll select the Paint Mask PNG here. And open Image. Let's connect the color to the base color like so. We now have a black knob with a white stripe. The color of the paint mask was black, with a white stripe, which is exactly what we are getting. If we were happy with this, we could call it done. But what if you wanted a red knob or dial with a white stripe? Or a white knob with a dark gray stripe? That's where masks come in. Disconnect the paint mask from the base color for now. And let's make some room here. What we can do is use a mix color node to accomplish what we want. Shift A and type in mix to search and select mix color. Alright, connect the color out of our mask into the factor input on our mix node like so. Then the result out of our mix into the base color of our material. We get a gray knob. Back over on the mix node. Click on the top A color and let's change that to black. Ah! Now I see where this is going. Click the bottom B color and let's change this to pure white. Now how about that red knob? Click the A color and let's choose red. There we go. And the white knob? Same story. Color A change to white. And then color B change to a dark gray. Like that. Now that we have an A and B input, we can then theoretically connect anything we want to these, including other nodes, textures, patterns, etc. We saw an ambient occlusion map in the folder earlier. Let's bring that in and see how we can connect that to our material. In the editor, Shift A, then texture. And image texture again. And we'll put this right here. Click Open, navigate to our folder, and then select the AOPNG. For now, let's connect this to the base color to see what we have. Alright, looks like a little shadowing in the crease. But what if I think it's too much? Or not enough? Let's use a mix node again and adjust this a bit. Shift A. And type mix. And then select mix color. Connect the color out of the texture to the A color input like so. And the result out into the base color. Let's zoom in a bit. Let's push the B color back to pure white, where we were before like so. Okay. Now we can use the factor slider to adjust the amount of AO we see. Left is more, right is less to none. Great. Now we just need to get our color mask back in play. Disconnect from the base color. Then Shift A and mix. Mix color. Alright. First things first. Let's connect the result of this new mix node into the base color. As expected, the mix node is mixing the two light gray colors together by a factor of 0.5, and we get a light gray knob. Connect the result of the paint mask mix node to the B color of this new mix node. Then connect the ambient occlusion mix node result into the factor input of this one here. We should now be back to our original color of the knob we had before, along with a little bit of ambient occlusion showing through. Adjusting the A color of this new mix node will control the color of the AO. Dragging the factor of the AO mix node, you can still adjust the amount of AO, and with this new one, you can control the color of the AO. I'll set this back to something decent like this. Then, let's adjust the knob colors back to a black knob with a white stripe. For this particular black knob, the AO might not be necessary, but I wanted to show you in case you want a lighter color material. Before moving on, let's try to get a little organized before we add in any more nodes here. Select the AO texture and its mix node, and right-click on them. Select Join in Frame. This puts a little box around the both of them. Right-click again, and let's rename this. And I'll call it AO. We can now move this group around as one unit. Let's do the same with the paint mask and its mix node. Select both. Right-click. And join in New Frame. Right-click again to rename. And I'll call this group Knob and Paint Color. We will know that this group controls the color of the knob and the color of the stripe. And finally right-click on this final mix node and select Join in Frame. And rename it to add in Ambient Occlusion. Great! We are now ready to explore the dirt and edge masks. Before we do that, I want to duplicate this knob so we keep the one we see here, and then add some dirt and edge wear to the new one. Select the knob. Shift D, then X to drag this over to the right a bit here, left-click to place. With that second knob selected, click on the Materials icon in the Properties editor. Both knobs are currently sharing the same material. We want to have an independent material for the second knob. Next to the material name in the field here, click on the little number to create its own version of this material. Double-click on the name, And let's rename it knob15 old. Alright, back in the shader editor, let's make some room. I'm going to move these node groups over quite a bit, so we have some room to put in some new nodes. The first one I will add will be the dirt mask we saw in the knob15 folder. Shift-A, select texture and image texture. I'll place this right here. Click open, go to our folder, and select the dirt mask PNG. Before we start connecting this, let's see what it looks like on the knob. Connect the color out to the base color of our material. Alright, it comes in as a black base with white dirt or dust. This will be our mask, just like we did with the ambient occlusion. Disconnect it from the base color. Like before, the mix node is what we need. Shift-A. Type mix. Then select mix color. Place that in front of the dirt mask texture. Connect the color out to the A color input. Click the B color swatch and make this black. Then connect the result to the base color real quick. Now drag the factor slider back and forth. We now have a way to control how much dirt we want to show. Okay. You can disconnect the base color for now. Let's name these so we keep organized. Select the texture, right-click. Join in new frame. And let's rename to dirt mask. And the same for the mix node. Rename to dirt amount. Okay, good. Now we'll connect or mix the base color with the dirt mask. Again, Shift-A, type mix, and mix color. Place this in front of the base and dirt mask groups. Connect the result from the knob and paint color to the A color input on this new mix node. Connect the result of the dirt amount node into the factor of the mix node. Then let's connect this result to the base color to see how we're doing. Okay. Looks like we have our base color and our stripe showing through, and some dirt on top. On this mix node, select it, and right-click Join in New Frame, then again right-click and rename to Dirt Color. Now we have control over the amount of dirt here with this factor slider, and the color of the dirt with this B color swatch. Because this is an older knob, maybe the white stripe has started to lose its luster as well. We can adjust this back in the knob and point color node here, and make that like a light gray instead of white. Nice. Now let's add in the edgeware texture. Shift-A, image texture. Click open and select the edge mask PNG and then open image. Connect the color out to the base color to see what we have mask-wise. Okay. Cool. Disconnect it for now. Let's add another mix node for the edge mask. Place that here. And then connect the color out of the edge mask into the A color input here. Make the B color black. While we are here, select the mix node. Right-click. Join in New Frame. And rename Edgeware Amount. Select the texture and right-click, and let's get this into a frame and rename it Edge Mask. Connect the Edgeware Amount node into the base color. Now we can use the factor slider here to adjust the amount of edgeware. Nice. Disconnect from the base color. Now let's add in a way to change the color of the edgeware. Shift-A, mix, and mix color. Place this around here. Make a frame. And rename it Edgeware Color. Locate your dirt color node. Connect the result from the dirt color into the A color of the Edgeware Color node like this. Then the Edgeware Amount result into the factor of the edge color. Let's connect this to the base color to see what we have. Alright, we now have dirt and edgeware controls. Let's change the color of the edgeware here. And the amount of edgeware here. And if we want to add the AO back in, we can take the result of the edgeware color, Connect that to the B color of the Add in Ambient Occlusion node. And then connect that result out into the base color. You can now adjust the AO if you want. Perfect. Before we wrap this up, let's say you want the edgeware to be thinner or thicker than the texture map has. Shift-A and select the color option. In this menu, you have a lot of choices to modify the image using brightness, or contrast, or gamma. Play around with different nodes like this to get the perfect edge where you're looking for. The gamma node isn't bad for increasing and decreasing the size of the edgeware. Okay, that does it for this tutorial. If you would like to purchase the 50 Knobs and Dials project, you can do so at our online store in a variety of formats, including Blender. I hope you got something out of this video. If so, please like and subscribe. Also, please leave a note in the comments with any questions or things I could have done differently. Check out other videos on my YouTube channel. Best wishes to you. Now go create.